Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Handegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Dick's House of Sport in the Mall of Louisiana, right here in the Fielder's Choice, right in front of the Hit Tracks Performance Cages. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Colucci Humans with us from Las Vegas as we're heading into the final regular season weekend, the college basketball season. We're heading towards NFL free agency on Monday, and, of course, college baseball. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You got some shoes?
Yeah, man. Got some pants, some joggers, and some pullovers last time. Now it's shoes time, Charlie. So, yeah, got a couple pairs of shoes.
Very good. Come on by and see us. We're on the ground floor here.
It's ridiculous,
at Dick's House of
man.
Sport.
This place
a facility.
It is unbelievable. It is. I mean, and it's cool. So when you pull out the shoe, and I don't know, maybe 1,000 different type of running. It's tons of running shoes. Just we're in the baseball equipment area today, and I mean just the gloves, the batting helmets, the pants, the belts. The bats, just so many styles, so many different brands, so many the bags, so many different colors. I mean, everybody likes to have a little bit different color bag or glove or bat. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So, I mean, it's just I'm talking about stuff from all the way from youth league to the from t-ball to coaches pitch to major league level, and every type of gear you can imagine for over here, man.
Yeah, they got your bat fitting technology. It the swing analysis captures how you swing,
that's cool.
Your bat speed, your acceleration.
So we know that about with golf, with the clubs. So you can kind of get custom fit for a new set of irons, a new driver, whatever, and but with the bats as well. So they're going to hit off a tee and kind of live pitching and do the tracking and real data, exit velocity, launch angle, line drop percentage, average distance, max distance, and just data-backed information so that you're going to give ideal bat length, weight, and balance, and evaluate your swing, your swing feel, and customize. I mean, Ethan just got out of playing baseball, from youth league to travel ball to high school, and you try a bat. Everybody try. One kid gets hot. Wait, let me try your bat. Let me try your bat. It's a hot bat, whatever. No, this is a way besides just going out and buying bats and finally getting a bat that's really comfortable for you. Man, this is and it takes a little guesswork out of investing in a new bat for your softball or baseball player.
So come by and see us here at Dick's House of Sport. We got some other things we're going to tell you about during the show today. We start with LSU heading to Lafayette last night, trying to shake out of what is now turned into a 6-game offensive slump, and didn't work. Tigers went out in front of a packed house at Teague Moore. They've really done some nice things with that stadium over the years. It's a pretty cool place to watch a ball game, and it was at a fever pitch last night. They were waiting on this game, so it was a great atmosphere. LSU sent Gavin Guidry out, and I thought that was an interesting decision by Jay Johnson to get him off to a good start. Guidry's been almost perfect this year. No runs allowed, no walks through 9 innings, and he wanted to get him off to a good start. Guidry certainly knows about pitching in some pressure situations. Didn't work out that way. Guidry gave up a couple of hits. There was an error. LSU made 3 more errors in this game. That's 7 in the last 2. The sparkling defense that was there a year ago has not been there in the early stages of this season. So Guidry ended up giving up 3 earned runs. He settled in. Ethan Plau came in and got him out of a jam. And they kind of settled in until they got into the 5th inning. Trent Caraway hit one out of the park out of the 9-hole and cut the lead to 3-2. But LSU's bullpen couldn't hold it. Connor Benj came in, gave up a couple of hits. Maverick Rizzi came in and gave up a hit and a walk, and the Cajuns were able to add to their lead in the bottom of the 5th inning, give up 3 runs there, another insurance run in the 7th, and the Tigers were not able to muster much offense at all. They lose the game 7-2, so they're 3-3 in their last 6. So what can you say here? Let me start with the defense, because that's probably the one thing that concerns me the most. It's the one place where I'm not 100% sure. I know they can't duplicate what they did a year ago. That defense on the infield was the best I've ever seen at LSU. So I certainly didn't expect that. But I didn't expect 7 errors in 2 games. I didn't expect 16 errors through the first 14 games. I know, 4 of those have been on the pitchers, but the defense has not been as good, and it's hurt the pitchers at times. But the offense is the real, is the concern right now to get it fixed immediately. The defensive concerns, frankly, may be there for a lot longer. They're going to have to work their way through that. But they're guys that we think are going to hit that right now are not hitting. Derek Curiel and Jake Brown had 5 hits between them in the top 2 spots in the lineup. And I told you that Caraway ran one out of the park from the 9-hole. In between that, the 3 through 8-hole hitters were 1 for 21 with a scratch single. That ain't gonna work. And the Cajuns ran 5 pitchers out there. This was not one of those nights where this was not where you ran into one guy that was just giving you fits, who was on his game, a left-handed soft thrower or a right-hander that's just got everything working. And that was the case against Dartmouth and Northeastern over the weekend as well, when Dartmouth and Northeastern gave up 14 walks and 5 wild pitches and 4 hit batters. That was 7 different pitchers. It just wasn't one guy. You said, "Oh, they're trouble left." No, they're in a slump. There's no way to sugarcoat that. So the Cajuns ran 5 different pitchers out there. Most of them were effective against the entire middle of the lineup. So you've got offensive problems right now. You've got defensive problems right now, and I think he's got a pretty good idea of the pitchers. He's run 19 pitchers out there in the first 20 days of the season. He's trying to see who's ready and who's not, and I think he'll pare that number down starting this weekend. You'll get it a little bit closer to what it's going to be in Southeastern Conference play, which is, usually you count on about 8 guys with 2 or 3 more that can pitch if the game is not in close quarters. I think you'll get that number pared down. Johnson, after the game, said something that caught my attention, which was how he set up this schedule. This is 20 games in 14 days. It's 2 wraparound weekends and a set where you're playing 5 games in 6 days. He says, I'm not going to do that again. Because of it, we'll get better. I'm glad we're exposing some teams. This is a good schedule, but I don't know if we need to do that because of the strength of the SEC. I think it'll have value for us, but we're past that point now, and now it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday with 1 midweek game. I appreciate that Johnson's taken the blame for this, but I don't think he needs to. Last year, LSU played their first 14 games in 19 days. This year they played their first 14 games in 20 days. This was a pretty easy trip to Jacksonville. So it's a short flight and a 1-hour bus ride down to Lafayette. This is the first weekend in March. They're not tired. Okay, if they are, God bless. But they're going to be way hairier spots where fatigue is going to be a factor. There's a stretch in the SEC season where they're going to play 6 SEC road games in 10 days. That's going to get hairy, okay? That's when maybe you run up against 2 or 3 pitchers that are going to be high draft picks next year. So I appreciate the coach getting in front of his guys like that and maybe trying to give them a little bit of confidence, but I'm not buying. It's too early in the season. There'll be places where fatigue comes into play later in the year. You may have a situation where you fall into a loser's bracket. You got to play 5 games in 3 days. Or 5 games in 4 days, you run out of bullpen, that's fatigue. So I'm not buying that particular explanation. So they got some stuff to work on.
Didn't he say something like, I did a poor job of putting this team in a position for success? And was he talking about scheduling?
Yeah, the number of games in the not the teams, the number of games in the number of days. But I'm sorry, I'm not buying. I think that it's maybe this team's having a hard time, but I don't think the schedule was unreasonable in number of games and number of days. Last year they did this number of games in 1 day less, and they were just fine. So again, I appreciate him saying, "Hey, look, this is on me. I'll take the brunt of it. I'll get out and take the hit here," but I don't think he needs to.
Well, that's common for a coach to
and good for him,
take
but,
the bullet. But
yeah.
I mean, whatever. But I thought he specifically talked about the scheduling. I mean, man, I don't care if you play. How many games? 11 and 3, 14 games.
14 games.
I don't
in 20,
care if you play
14 games in 20
14
days.
straight days against this much inferior competition. Man, come on, coach. Damn. I mean, who have you played? Has anybody on their roster that you wanted?
Oh, probably
14 games.
Probably not anybody.
You know, I mean, like
probably not anybody.
I mean, so
no,
I
think
hope it's just chalk. But he talked about the scheduling. Dang, he just didn't say, this is on me. This is on me. But he talked about this is on me because of the scheduling. I'm like,
there were 2 wraparound Friday to Mondays, and they had one of these last year. They had a Friday to Monday. They didn't have 2, but the schedule is very similar to what they had a year ago, and they handled it just fine. So again, I appreciate the coach taking a hit, but I'm not buying.
Well, another thing too. Would you, after maybe giving a second thought, Charlie, would you like to sort of be a little bit more specific about your hitting struggles? I mean, Curiel and Brown are leading the team in hitting, and they had 5 of your 7 hits last night. Yeah. So if don't look at me. I mean, kind of deal if I'm Curiel or Brown.
Right, and those guys are fine. When 3 through 8 go 1 for 21, and the one hit was a pinch hit off the bench, what can you say? That's not one guy in a slump. That's a bunch of guys. And you know what they're not doing? This was mostly on the weekend because the Cajun pitchers didn't give them a whole lot of free bases last night. But I'm going to say it again. When you get 18 free bases in 2 games and score 8 runs, that's not gonna work. Okay. Now the kid from Dartmouth on Sunday was really good, and didn't give them a lot of free bases. But the first 2 days they did. On Monday night they had opportunities, and they're just not hitting. I'm not a good enough instructor of bats to tell you why they're not hitting. Right now they're not hitting enough. So. You come back, you get everybody together. And
you're not at the worry point.
No,
I mean, it's
but 2 things can be true. Yes, I'm not worried, and yes, they've played pretty poorly over the last 6 games. Those things can be true that's independent of each other.
Yeah, no.
So they'll come back 3 games against Sacramento State.
Talk
and
me
one
up for that one, Charlie. The last one. Both is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
There are guys that can hit way better than what they are hitting so far. If you're asking, do I see a fundamental flaw like they're susceptible to left-handed pitching, or they've got 1 or 2 holes in the lineup because they're you're putting a superior glove in there and you're sacrificing somebody? I don't see any of that. I see a really good hitting team with a lot of guys that have hit at different places, including here, that right now are not. So. I'm gonna watch some more, but last night wasn't good. They went out and fell behind immediately, and Cajuns controlled this game from start to finish.
Speaking of LSU baseball, you seen the new shipment of all they got as far as gear? Now, a lot of people like to wear like a jersey, to the games, like that. And they got a lot of other shirts, like a little tiger bat and stuff like that for the kids and stuff. So they got unbelievable. A lot of people carry LSU gear, merch.
Yeah.
Okay. But the LSU baseball stuff it's You got a great selection, man. It's pretty impressive.
Come on over here and see us at Dick's House of Sport. We're in the Mall of Louisiana. On the front side, we are on the ground floor of this massive facility, and we'll be telling you more about some of the things.
I'm glad you said that because Moscona asked me what floor we were on yesterday.
Well, if you don't know what floor we're on, you can look for us for a little while. We've, and we got some more shows scheduled here, but we're going to be moving around the store. Last time we were in front of the card section. Today we're in the baseball section. So we're going to see every inch of this store, some future visits. Live at Dick's House of Sport, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Dick's House of Sport in the Mall of Louisiana on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Dick's House of Sport. Glad that you're with us today. If you're going by to see the Savannah Bananas, they're heading to the Superdome on March the 14th and 15th. You can stop by here. They've got Savannah Bananas gear, tees, jerseys, all of your game day outfits.
Of course they do.
The Bananas are wildly popular, so if you're going to the game down in New Orleans, stop by here first to get your gear. College basketball last night, we were left with only one game in the Southeastern Conference after they front-loaded the schedule on Tuesday, so we only had one. We were on this one, Jimmy. We thought that Arkansas would be in a prime position there at home to take care of Texas last night. The game was even more lopsided than I thought. The spread was 7.5. We liked Arkansas minus a point, and they were up 22 at the half and kind of coasted from there. Really kind of gate-to-wire deal for the Hogs.
First 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Acuff put on a show. I mean, they had it was like 20-something dunks or something. I mean, it was he loves those alley-oops. I mean, he's got a great feel for it. Sean Miller, after the game, says, I don't get it. I don't know why this guy is not being in the conversation for the number one overall pick. I know he's going to be a high pick, but the number one overall pick, I haven't heard that. And we just don't see guys like this level in the college game very, very often. And it said he just can do it all. And Charlie, coming down the stretch, you might want to pull up the SEC stats and see, but I think he's still leading in scoring and assists. Well, he did a number last night to try and, put himself in position with one more game to go for the regular season to try and accomplish that. And that hadn't been done in a long time. It's very hard to do. But, either score for yourself or set up yourself or set up your teammates, one or the other, to do both at this level in this league with 16 teams, more teams than ever. This is historic, man. And he would have get 13 assists last night. 28, 29 points. I mean, he's doing what he can. And, at first I said, I was a little bit hesitant to bring up the comparison to Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose is an MVP. He was so good, and injuries cut his deal short. He's better in every category in his freshman year, this year for Arkansas, than Derrick Rose was in his only year in college at Memphis. I mean, every category. More assists, less turnovers, higher shooting percentage from the line, from the field, behind the arch. I mean, everything. Everything. He's unbelievable. I know it's a deep class, but, man, and he plays. And they talked about it, playing through some pain and stuff. No, I want to play. His quotes, I want to play. We know about the 50 minutes and the double overtime.
I appreciate that more than ever these days.
Yes.
Guys say, I want to play.
So if his ceiling is this close to Peterson, their floor ain't close, bro. Their floor is not close. Peterson's trying to tell you that, he's not, when number one comes in on national TV and you've never beaten him in that building before and he's like, I'm good. Okay, you got the flu. Stay at home.
Yeah.
Don't sit on the bench when you have the flu. Okay, so no. I think the ceiling, the ceilings may be close. The floor, not even close.
My guess is that what the scouts would tell you is it's the length and the size that they like more projecting forward. And Peterson is about 3 inches taller than him. And DeBonch and Booz are big men.
Tell me about this gauge, hunger. Don't you have to gauge a player's hunger? I'm talking about whether you're dealing with a 5-star, who you're going to give, in high school, who you're going to give, I don't know, 6 figures to, or even 7 figures to, or are you dealing with a guy you're going to invest in the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
The hunger is not, what's
I'm with you.
What's the thing now? Wait, we want the guys who love playing the sport, not what the sport affords them.
You get to tell me I don't feel like going in the game one time because I'm kind of done after that. And I realize it's easy to say that, but if I got enough gravitas as a coach to do that without losing my job, then if you tell me, I don't really feel like it today, okay, I'm kind of done with you. The game's hard enough to play without your attitude getting in the way. So I appreciate that from him an awful lot. He's going to lead the league in assists, Jimmy. He's 24 clear of second place with one game
Hubbard
to
are
go.
close scoring.
It's actually it's Phylon.
Okay.
Hubbard is a 1/10 of a point behind Phylon, so it's pretty close. Okay. He's going to have
what's your numbers?
It's 22.2 is what Acuff is, 21.5 for Phylon, and 21.4 for Hubbard.
7 times, it's 16 games. You're 0.7 times 16 games. That's you're dealing with about a 7-point difference. Is this conference play, or is this?
This is all games.
All games. Okay.
Phylon missed 2 games. Hubbard and Acuff have both played all 30 games. Acuff has outscored him by 23 points for the season. So that's what you're looking at. So he goes out and gets his average on Saturday. He will probably lead the league in scoring.
Who plays first, Charlie? Because I want to see if we got a free fry situation again.
Free
like
fries.
Gervin and Thompson.
I love free fries. Let's see. Saturday.
I'm joking.
No, well, you got me curious.
But Arkansas finishes up at Missouri. Missouri, despite their low 50s.
That's 11 in the morning, and Mississippi State plays at 2. So.
Yes.
And Alabama plays the late game. Yeah, the late game, 7:30 against Auburn. So,
but Arkansas now 8-1 at home in their conference games, 4-4 on the road. So even the faces change, the coaches change, the players change, but the home and away splits are extreme when you come in Bud Walton and not. Charlie, it was over early. I mean, the first media timeout, under 16 minutes. The first media timeout, it's like 23-5.
I had it on. I will cop to having more attention on the baseball game last night.
On, and it was hard. Yeah. I mean, it was. I had the outside TV on, but it was over early.
Other game you hit last night was you like Northwestern and double-digit points at home against Purdue. Ballers do get the win on the road, but they had to work for it. In the second half, they were down 9 at the break.
Martinelli, the big Italian for the Northwestern, has been there for so long. Busted up nose, man. He put it on. He did all he could. He was unbelievable last night. Northwestern's been hot. They've won their last 3 going into that one, and that was a 50-50 game. Purdue is not. Purdue is sliding. Matt Humans could talk about it a little bit later, but this is not uncommon for Painter, for his team to be much better ahead of everybody else when they said like November, December. But maybe it's because he doesn't. He's not as transfer portal reliable. They have as few transfers as anybody as a major player in college basketball as Purdue. So maybe because they don't have as much turnover in their roster early in the season, they're ahead of them. But they have struggled, and we're lucky to get out of there with a win last night.
One more before we wrap up last night in college basketball. SMU dropped a home game to Miami. This is one of those, the home team was favored over an unranked home team, favored over a ranked road team.
Yeah.
And Miami's
ranked now?
They are. They were 22.
Lucas, John Lucas' son, the first-year coach. They're really good. They've won 9 of 11. They've beaten some ranked teams, beaten some good teams away from home, like SMU, like NC State, like Florida State. Got a North Carolina win in that run as well, and their only loss was 1 to Cal and then 4 at Virginia. Man, they're playing much better. They're finishing strong. First-year coaches, how do they improve over the course of the season? And he's that new – when we talk about the new era coach, Charlie, he's barely got a pulse. He's so chill on the sideline. I mean, he is just kind of stoic is one word. I mean,
Yeah.
for a basketball coach on a bench, he is just, and he's young, and maybe that ranting and raving. He is the most calm coach that I've seen in college basketball this year.
That's 5 Q1 wins for the Canes now, and they are, I would say right now, probably 5-6 seed if the bracket came out today.
Got Louisville coming to town on Saturday. Mikael Brown is questionable. He only played 20 minutes on Saturday against Clemson in that loss. They sat him out, completely for this week. He's listed as questionable, but I don't know what the purpose is to rush him back if he's questionable in that game at Miami. So it's a game that Paul Stone and I both are identifying on Saturday that we like.
SMU continues their slide. It's 3 in a row now. They now have a losing record in conference play. They're 8-9 in the ACC, which is not over the moon great as a league. Their net's still okay at 38, but I would win Saturday if I were them.
But it's getting to that point, Charlie, where like when LSU kept losing, their NET was in the 40s, It's kind of the same thing with SMU. SMU hasn't been good in a long time.
No, I would say the one game that they beat Louisville, they looked good about 2 weeks ago
At home,
They opened
up conference play. I can't think against North Carolina and beat them.
They did.
Yeah.
That was way back, right after New Year's. But in the last 3 weeks,
lose a record in a weak league.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks, the only win you can look at that that's a good over a team with a winning record is that game against Louisville about
not
2
a good
weeks.
league.
No, and they're top heavy. Duke's the big boy on the block, but it thins out in the bottom of the league. There's some bad teams down there. Pitt, Notre Dame, and Boston College. There's some bad teams down there.
We faded that bad Notre Dame team last night, Stanford Cardinals. So we took care of them.
I faded them on Saturday too, Willie.
What?
I faded them on Saturday too, Willie. Notre Dame. They won against NC State.
You laid the points. You had them in a money line parlay.
Yeah.
You laid the points?
I laid the points.
Well, speaking of that Stanford team, they go to Raleigh on Saturday.
Okay.
We'll wait.
Okay.
I mean, they're probably in, but man,
33 net.
Oh, yeah.
They're okay. We'll see.
All right, don't forget our friends over at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, the Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Adrian Gallardo, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith, buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Dick's House of Sport, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Colucci, what's going on, my man?
What's going on, Jimmy Ott? How you doing in fabulous Baton Rouge?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. We a little hiccup last week with the picks, so we got a nice schedule tonight. Let's start off with business, man. Let's look at this hockey card tonight and give us some winners.
Yeah, definitely, Jimmy. We had a rough week last week, as you could see. It's always tough when they come back off of an Olympic break or an All-Star break, not making excuses, but definitely a difficult card.
Well, let me interject with you real quick. What did you learn? Because we like to put these away. What did you learn looking back, maybe off of this little Olympic break? Did we learn? Did you identify anything?
Well, it seems like a lot of the guys. It's too early to tell.
Okay.
Because some of the guys skipped, because they were with President Trump. So you had a lot of guys like Austin Matthews, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, various players, not only American, that skipped that first game back right out of the break. That I think it was on the 25th. So that definitely comes into play. Some of the goaltenders seemed a little rusty, in my opinion. Plus, some of the teams that peaked last year, like Florida, they just can't get out of their own way this year. And it's becoming a difficult scenario to handicap as you get to this last third of the season on who's going to be buyers, who's going to be sellers, and so forth. But it seems like the younger teams had a little trouble coming out of the break. But the veteran teams, they're maintaining. Vegas Golden Knights are up and down like a heartbeat, for example. Colorado's still solid. Tampa Bay, they lost a couple of games out of the break. Buffalo's playing very well. So, it's an uneven landscape now, guys. It's very, very difficult. And tonight's card is very difficult. You look at the line. Rangers 125, Columbus 110, Mammoth 125, 110 on the Penguins, 110 on Predators. So when you see all these pick'ems, you definitely know there are some issues here, and definitely tough games and tough matchups to handicap.
All right, let's look at the card. Who are we looking at?
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at tonight the Toronto Maple Leafs on the road in Madison Square Garden. I'm not thinking that the Rangers are there. I mean, 23 and 29, just not the team that they wanted to put out there. And got rid of Artemi Panarin, got rid of earlier in the season, before it even started, Chris Kreider, guys like that. So, they're in a rebuild mode, it's starting to seem like. And also, you're waiting for Trocheck to get traded. A lot of these guys are expected to get shipped out, and there's been a lot of wheeling and dealing done, especially yesterday. So I would say that Toronto is the right way to go there. They're still fighting for the playoffs and have a chance. Austin Matthews needs to step up his game, and I definitely think that, you're getting a plus 120 in this instance. It's a good spot for the Toronto Maple Leafs, in my opinion. Last night, the New York Islanders got destroyed, and that was uncharacteristic. I think they may have been looking ahead to this game. Played Anaheim. Anaheim was on the second of a back-to-back and lit them up. Granted, they played Colorado the night before. Then they hammered the Islanders. Now the Islanders are on the back-to-back from Anaheim, playing the Kings, which is a much softer spot. The Kings have underachieved all year. You're getting another plus in this instance, anywhere from 120 to 125 if you shop around. So I think the Islanders do have some value. I think they're going to bring their A game tonight after getting embarrassed in Anaheim. And keep in mind that the travel distance is not that long, Jimmy.
Oh, no, it's across town. I mean, it's about 20
exactly.
minutes.
Exactly.
Add an hour fair lay traffic. But, I mean, from Orange County, maybe they were at the beach. Seal Beach, is right down the street from where, Anaheim. So, maybe they were at the beach. So, let's clean it up.
Enjoying the sun here. We've had amazing weather. Got a little windy today, but definitely amazing weather here in L.A.
There you go. So 2 dogs, Toronto and the New York Islanders. That's it for tonight?
Rough. I would think also as a third pick, if you're looking for a 3-teamer or a round robin, I would think Tampa Bay is going to bring their A game again, too. They don't want to start losing ground as Buffalo gets closer. Detroit gets closer, but they lost last night. Montreal has been in and out. So, they want to make lead of 6 to 8 points that they've been maintaining throughout the season. And you're talking about a class team. Cooper's a great coach, one of the best I've ever seen, and just 38-17 against the Winnipeg Jets. The darling of the Olympics, Connor Hellebuck, can't do it all by himself. I said this time and time again. You surround this guy with great players. He's a great goaltender. But this year, you surround him with a
Funny how that works when you do supporting cast. Even, we talk about it a lot when we're evaluating quarterbacks.
Not as strong
as the
other two.
Did you see a little bit of a bump since Hellebuck in the Jets action? A little bit support by some of your bettors at the Rampart because
definitely because Jimmy, you know what it is? It's that hockey. I'm sorry, you dropped out there for a second. Hockey is a sport where the public is easily swayed because they don't have as much information as, say, the NBA, college basketball, or the NFL. So, yes, that's a good point.
Colucci, just curious.
Some people are backing the Jets now because they see his face. They know how great he played in the Olympics, and they figure he could carry it over until the last third of the season.
Max has something for you, Colucci.
Yeah, just curious, Colucci. I know the deadline is on tomorrow, actually, Friday. Nicholas Waugh just got traded from the Maple Leafs to the Avalanche. For those of us who don't follow the NHL as closely, is this now a time where you're going to see teams maybe kind of mail it in after the deadline and maybe some of these contenders like the Avalanche now start to play a lot better as they add a couple pieces? Or
buyers and sellers.
Is there tanking? Is there stuff like that?
Well, the draft is a little different, so I wouldn't say that it's so much tanking, but I do think it's relief of contract. That's what it comes to. How much would you have to maintain and how much will the buyer maintain on certain, superstar contracts. Now, Nicholas Waugh is not a superstar, but, he's a good tradable asset that definitely will help the Colorado Avalanche, who want to maintain their slight lead over the Dallas Stars, who have, just been unbelievable and playing at an unbelievable level. I mean, 9 in a row, winning at the NHL level is just amazing. The Golden Knights, they're in a precarious situation because most of their money is tied up. And, now Carter Hart is on the DL, the injured list, whatever you like to call it. And, they're working with Schmidt and Hill. They find their backs against the wall early, so they may be looking for defensive help, the Golden Knights. But I think some of these teams become buyers, but it has to be the right price. You don't want to just give up everything. I mean, the asking price St. Louis was looking for Thomas from Montreal was astronomical. And, at points, some of these teams get a little too greedy and think that the other GMs are a little stupid. So, I don't think it's as much tanking, but I think it's as much selling off big contracts and possible free agents contracts.
Colucci, it's the last week of the regular season of college basketball. Conference tournaments next week, and the following week, March Madness. You seeing a little bit of extra attention, or just kind of same old in college hoops, the action you're taking at the Rampart?
No, I'll tell you the truth, Jimmy. We're taking immense action at the Resort at Summerlin. We have the Caesars affiliation now. You're starting to see a lot of these people start to back the teams they like, whether it's Michigan, Arizona, Duke. The college basketball is hot and heavy, and I'm anticipating a great handle come, conference tournament week, obviously. And it's going to be just fabulous. Some of these conference tournaments are starting, today, as a matter of fact. So keep your eye on this. Our handle has been phenomenal. It continues on, and I could only see it increasing prior to baseball because that's when you get the lull where there's not as many sporting events, even though the Caesars betting menu is incredible. You start to see a lot of people start to bet on college hoops, NBA, and NHL right now up until that April, 5th game.
There we go. We're looking forward to it as well, man. Yeah, that day hoops, man. There's nothing better. Yes, indeed. Next week we'll be at the Bally's Casino here in town for the busiest day in the conference tournament schedule. So next week. So
we even got a decent Thursday night game tonight with Michigan going.
Yeah, and the Big Ten is saving us on these Thursdays and Friday nights, and a little Sunday too. They had a good game Thursday, Friday, and Sunday last week. They're giving us a couple of them tonight, huh?
Michigan and Iowa City tonight. Michigan is 4-5 against the number on the road in the Big Ten, despite the fact that they've won them all. However, they've won 8 out of the 9 by double figures, and they're only an 8.5-point favorite tonight at Iowa. So pick the trend that you like, the one where they always win by double digits. The only one they didn't win by double digits, surprisingly, was at Penn State, who's not very good. But they're an 8.5-point choice at Iowa tonight.
Yeah, so that's good. That's a lot of points on the road, so we'll have to see. Colucci, we're talking about Michigan in college basketball, but that high-profile non-conference game with Duke beating Michigan, that had to put Duke as your favorite for the futures, on the to win a March Madness, huh?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, definitely. Duke has been taking a lot of attention and a lot of handle throughout the season. Michigan 27-2, they're solid. Arizona is starting to play at a high level as well. Earlier on you were seeing Texas Tech money, but then you had the injury there, and they've come back down to earth. St. John's money was early in the season, but now after UConn hammered them by 30 in that rematch, people are a little leery and now starting to focus on UConn a little more. So, the landscape for the future wagering has been incredible for this tournament, but like you said, Duke is definitely now the front runner and the favorite.
All right. We got the Rebel last week at I'm sorry. No. Yeah.
You were right. At Oklahoma. Yeah.
At Oklahoma. On Sunday.
Chad Brown
Sunday.
with another stud. Chad Brown with another winner at Aqueduct, and in Florida, the Fountain of Youth. That was another fabulous race. So we got a lot of Derby preps. Brandt is coming up running this weekend at Santa Anita. It'll be interesting to see how Bob Baffert's horses react. And now you're looking at the three-headed monster of Pletcher, Chad Brown, and Bob Baffert all having major chances to win the Kentucky Derby. Hopefully everybody stays healthy, but I think Chad Brown is holding most of the cards now. He has that Palladium horse, and last weekend that was just an incredible win. So, he's got a lot of different options for this Kentucky Derby coming up, but we're definitely going to start breaking it down, guys, and have concise picks after a couple of more of these preps. I want to see a little more, as I was not impressed over the weekend with much, but the Pletcher horse did look good. He's somewhat impressed.
San Felipe this weekend at Santa Anita.
Correct.
Yes, indeed. Check out Colucci on Twitter, on X, at NYBookie Dwayne. Again, if you missed it, he's got Toronto plus money, the Islanders plus money, and then Tampa Bay minus 195, minus puck line. The puck line is plus 130, but the going against the Olympic hero, Connor Hellebuyck?
Connor Hellebuyck.
Okay. All right.
Connor Hellebuyck.
He didn't get any teeth knocked out, did he? Huh?
No.
No.
Boy, they got a big mask.
Only Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes missed it a couple. He'll be seeing the orthodontist, I'm sure, in the off season. But maybe the Devils will make the playoffs. They might make a strong push towards the end, but they need to score goals. That's what the whole issue is with the Devils.
Colucci, the best, brother. We will talk to you next week, man. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again next week in the middle of Conference Championship Week. Yes, indeed. Thank you, brother.
Love it, guys. Say hi to everybody in Baton Rouge. You guys are the best.
There you go. Wave to Colucci out there in the audience. So, yes, indeed. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows like mine does, you got to call one number, 288-8138. You can go to their website as well at reliefwindows.com. But, they are, first of all, they last. They will last through these extreme South Louisiana weather conditions, the heat, the humidity, the rain, the snow. Wood frame windows offer timeless style and generally regarded as the most aesthetically pleasing. They look good. That's right. They look good and they last. They add efficiency as well. So they're durable. The gelled wind RLS windows from Relief Windows. So you don't need to worry about replacing your windows again for a very, very long time. Limited lifetime warranty. We guarantee you complete satisfaction for years to come and provide the highest service and craftsmanship around. They look good. They're functional. They last. You get the best of all worlds from Relief Windows at reliefwindows.com.
Live at Dick's House of Sport, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Dick's House of Sport in the Mall of Louisiana on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Trade in the NFL, Buffalo looking for a top receiver, gets DJ Moore and a fifth-round pick from the Bears for a second-round pick in this year's draft. We'll see if Moore can be a number one receiver. They paid him like that in Chicago. He didn't perform like that. He had a decent year, but not a one-receiver year. 50 catches, 682 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He actually got outperformed by the rookie tight end, Colston Loveland. It was more of an ensemble in Chicago. They had a good year. Moore, we'll see if he can put up bigger numbers in Buffalo. Chicago was looking to get out from under that contract. 28 years old. Can he be?
So
a
he's the one
piece?
they gave that he was with Chicago already, and they gave him an extended deal.
When they made the trade with
that was on
Carolina.
that that Hard Knocks or whatever. Where they
gave him the deal when he made the trade over from Carolina. When he came over there. And he's been a good receiver, but he's being paid like a number one receiver. He has not performed like a number one receiver. He's performed more like a complementary. Like Loveland, Moore, Odunze, and Burden, they all had very similar numbers in Chicago. So it was more of a group effort there than the number one guy. We'll see.
Burden was a bargain.
See if he's the number one guy in Buffalo. We'll take a break, come back, hour number 2 here from Dick's House of Sport, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Dick's House of Sport in the Mall of Louisiana on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And return here at Dick's House of Sport. Sport. Now through Sunday, their fitting event, their free fitting event, their certified club fitters. For you golfers out there to get, if you're looking to upgrade your bag right now, you get, now through Sunday, a free fitting or demo experience, 50% trade-in enhancement towards new clubs, and a free 60-minute simulator rental with the purchase of a qualifying wood or iron set. So if you've been thinking about upgrading your bag, Max,
it's pretty impressive.
I am. I need a new golf bag, actually.
Well, you come here and for your free fitting event. That's now going on now through Sunday here at Dick's House of Sport. Also, the Savannah Bananas in New Orleans on March the 14th and 15th in the Superdome. They have your Savannah Bananas gear here, T-shirts, jerseys, ultimate game day outfits here at Dick's House of Sport. Jimmy, you went shopping before we started the show today?
Yeah, I got a couple pairs of shoes, man. So
Did they have any to pick from?
Yes. I don't know, about 500, 600, 700 different running shoes available, different styles. So it's pretty cool to you. They've got the thing, so you pick out the style and you get one of the employees, and they can look up right on their handheld to see if they have the size or not. So they've got, they don't have to go back and look through all the inventory. They have it on the handheld, so makes for more efficient shopping experience. So because there's so much stuff, I mean, it would probably take a long time. But and then when you tell them your size, they go and they know exactly where it is, and there you go. So it's pretty state of the art, process over here at Dick's House of Sport.
Tons of things going on here in store Pilates classes for free this Saturday and also on March the 21st from 9 until 10 p.m. Baton Rouge Zydeco hockey team is coming back. They're doing another meet and greet for autographs on March the 30th from 6 until 8 p.m. So lots going on here at Dick's House of Sport. And the news is coming pretty quick in the NFL with the new league year set to go next year, the tampering period for free agency getting ready to start. And news out of New Orleans from Adam Schefter, Max, that Cam Jordan is going to be allowed to explore free agency.
Yeah, we'll not have a new deal in place by next week. We'll hit free agency for the first time in his career, 16th NFL season, but first time hitting the free agent market. And Schefter puts out that he's said to be open to leave New Orleans. I'm sure there's a little bit of agent speak there, but nevertheless, Cam Jordan maybe not a Saint next year, which would be certainly a little bit different to the eyes.
Ring similar to Ricky Jackson?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This will kill me to see Cam Jordan play somewhere else, but you got to understand the team's thinking behind this if he ends up not coming back. Look, he had a resurgent year last year. I mean, he had to have 10.5 sacks at age 36. Man, look, I love everything about Cam Jordan. He'll go down as one of the greatest Saints ever. He never missed a game. He played at a high level. He played for a long time. He's a great locker room guy. He was great in the community. I mean, he's been up for the Walter Payton multiple times, as has Demario Davis. We're going to be talking about the same thing with Demario Davis, I feel, for next week. He has done everything you can ask him to do, but he's 36 years old. And are you going to, if you're New Orleans, put a bunch of money into a guy that is 36 years old at this stage of your rebuild? And I would tell you, and probably not. And it kills me to say, look, watching Ricky Jackson, as a lifelong Saints fan, watching Ricky Jackson in a San Francisco 49ers uniform was painful. Watching Bobby Hebert and Morton Anderson in Falcons, and Joe Horn in Falcons uniforms was painful. But at some point, and I would have signed Anderson, by the way, but at some point you have to decide what's best for the franchise. And I don't know and again, I don't know what he wants. If I was Cam Jordan and I said, you know what, I was 36 years old and I had double-digit sacks last year, and I did it on a little bit of a team discount last year, I want to get paid this year. I have no problem with that. I think he should. If I were him, I got one more contract in me. Maybe it's a one-year deal. Maybe it's a two-year deal. I'm going to go get it. This is the last time I'm going to be able to be an NFL player and make this kind of money. I want to get paid one more time.
How many years does he play with the Saints? How many seasons?
This will be 16.
16
coming up, so 15.
So Ricky Jackson played 12 with the Saints before he was traded to or let go for the San Francisco. His 10th, 11th, 12th season, he had double-digit sacks in all of those seasons, and kind of had a hiccup year his first year with San Francisco, and then 9.5 sacks his last. Only played 2 years with San Francisco. So yeah, if you can get past the ones you previously mentioned, including Ricky Jackson, Charlie, you'll get over this one. So.
Yeah, you know
and this doesn't fit into the Saints. I don't think this fits into the Saints' plan. Just like I don't think that taking a running back in the top 10 fits into Saints' plans of rebuilding right now. We can pump the brakes as far as the level of excitement. There's still a few steps to go before this rebuild is complete.
Well, everyone talks about how good the pass rush was, and it was at the end of the year. Chase Young, getting his double-digit sacks. They were still 22nd in pass rush win rate. They didn't get to the quarterback nearly to the level I think people might think. They've just been bottom 3 in the NFL for the last 5 years. So they've been dipping off, and the one thing about Cam Jordan, sure, the numbers are great. He's not getting the doubles that he once got in his career. Granderson and Chase Young are getting a lot more attention. No doubt.
Umpteenth year.
But that's just something he might look at. He might look at 10.5 sacks and think he's going to get a decent contract. But there's still a dip in production there.
Well, if I'm a playoff team, and I can add him on a 1-year deal, then to be a rotational guy, the guy doesn't have to play 65 snaps a game. Then absolutely. If I'm Buffalo, if I'm Cincinnati, if I'm Houston, Houston doesn't need another pet. Pittsburgh. There's places that you can add him that he can be a real difference maker for a playoff team. I don't know if the Saints are a playoff team next year. They would have to. Things would have to fall into place. They're going to deal with this.
The Rams just made a move yesterday that is, they think they got Stafford for one more year. Let's try and make it back. They got they have the Super Bowl in their home stadium.
Yeah. There's very few teams don't need a pass rusher, so he's going to find a job. And the Rams, that's fine. That's a potential Super Bowl team next year. They were, close this year. Well, you want to add some veterans? Maybe he's one of those guys.
And the ridiculous part of it is, what basically decided, what decided the Super Bowl champion? It was that Thursday night game where it was decided basically between the 1 and the 5 seed. And could Seattle have gone on the road 3 times and advanced the Super Bowl? Probably not. We don't know, but, Los Angeles had to do it, and they finally caught up with them. And then they had to play that close game at Seattle, which was an advantage, and probably decided. So what does the NFL do? They go send a pivotal home game in the same division when the division looks to be just as good as it was this past year for next year, and going to go play in Australia?
Because they can make money. They can make more money. They're not making enough money.
Okay, and I get it. They're strong as hell, okay? And they go. At some point, does the greed – when there's this much greed, history tells us it catches up with you. In any industry, okay?
Yeah, no.
This is dumb, Charlie. This is like no regard. Like, put the NFC South game in Australia. It's a crappy division, okay? I'm sorry. But they put it in France, but the NFC West. Oh, you think San Francisco's going to be good next year? You think they're going to have as many injuries as they did this year? Stafford's running it back one.
Do the Aussies know the difference between the Rams and the Falcons? I'm asking seriously.
What's that?
Do the Aussies know the difference between the Rams and the Falcons?
It's not the point.
No. I'm asking.
NFL owners do.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Or maybe they don't.
You can. They're sending the same. They're playing a game in Paris next year. Okay. This is one of the greatest cities in the world. They're sending the Saints and the Browns. All right, that ain't great.
Yeah, Europe's been getting crappy games for years.
I'm actually taking your side here. Yeah. If you're going to send something to Australia, if they send us two
send
Aussie
the Saints
teams,
to the Browns.
Yeah, if you're sending 2 teams from Aussie Rules football here, I don't know the difference between Sydney and Melbourne. I got no idea. I'm just going to watch their game because it's different to me if I want to watch it. So yeah, send the Falcons, send the Browns, send the send somebody that's
How
you don't have
can
to
you
send
take
a game
away
like that.
and okay, LA doesn't have the best, home field advantage, but it's still it's better than playing in Australia.
Yeah,
I want to reserve a little judgment just in case when the whole schedule comes out. What do they do with the other game? Is the other game at home, or is it because there is a chance?
What are you talking about?
There's a chance that
what other game?
The other
The return
whoever's
trip.
the return trip for whichever team that is. One of the teams is the designated home game
It's San
in
Francisco
Australia.
and LA. They're playing at San Francisco.
The only thing I could see them
And they're
doing
playing a Rams home game in Australia.
is if they're playing divisional games in Australia so that they can play the next week back-to-back so nobody has an advantage in terms of rest. They are worried, you're making a trip across the world on a Wednesday, Thursday or something. What do you do when you come back?
Why does it matter? It's divisional, so you're going to take my home team, and we still got to go to San Francisco or Santa Clara?
So normally when you go to Europe, you have a chance to take a bye. You're not going to take a bye week 2.
That's
They
minimal.
can't take a bye.
You don't put a division game, period, overseas, period, much less the most impactful game maybe that's going to decide your damn Super Bowl champion. That's so dumb. It's so – man, pay attention, man. It's like greed without any regard. And I mean, there's a million other games that you could have choose from, but not that. Not that.
Let me back up on the Saints here again because we get this news on Cam Jordan. We're going to get some news on Demario Davis at some point between now and when the new league year opens, and it looks like he's going to try free agency as well. I think the Saints are in a little bit better position to replace Demario Davis than they are Cam Jordan. And again, you're talking about an older player who had a great year at an advanced stage that's looking for one more payday. And Demario Davis, everything I said about Cam Jordan, with the exception of the fact that Davis didn't start his career in New Orleans, but highly productive guy, great locker room guy, great guy in the community, fantastic football player. Love him. But 37 years old. They drafted Danny Stutzman last year in the 4th round, who was a 4-year starter at Oklahoma, was a highly productive guy there, played all 17 games there, and towards the last month of the season started to play more on defense than just on special teams, which is what he had done most of the earlier part of the season. Again, it's going to pain me to see Demario Davis somewhere next year, wherever that is, but they've got a younger guy. They drafted him. He had a productive rookie year. Is he ready to step up? Is he ready to be Demario Davis? Probably not. But, again, where you are in your rebuild, can you afford to give a multi-year contract to a 37-year-old linebacker? And as much as I love Demario Davis, I would say no. And I think they're in better position with Stutzman than they are with anybody that's currently on the roster to replace Davis than they are to replace Cam Jordan. That's me. I don't know how much you paid attention to Stutzman last year at the end of last year, but there was some promising signs. I don't know how good he's going to be long term, but at least they have a plan in place.
I'm not in the locker room all the time, but we have a good enough feel to know that, man, can you afford a young rebuilding process to lose both of your strong leaders in that locker room?
It's a reasonable question.
And so, I don't want to contradict myself because, a guy entering his 15th year doesn't fit into anybody's type of rebuilding process. The Saints are still rebuilding. But man, Davis and Jordan, that's two strong leaderships that may have contributed to this team not quitting and this team kind of playing some of their better ball late in the season when so many teams have kind of phoned it in. Individually, you're playing for your career. Tape is they're running tape on all games, not if you're in contention or not. And actually, they pay more attention to tape when maybe the score is lopsided and also your season is lopsided. But still, it wasn't like the Saints just beat a lot of really good teams. It wasn't that it was part of keeping that locker room together and improving over the course of the season for a young coach and a young roster. And I got to believe that Jordan and Davis played a role. It's one of those intangibles that it's hard to quantify and to completely say, no, this is the way it was. You can't prove it. But
we know enough about the character of those two guys.
I believe that was a big
yes,
part of
we
it.
know enough
a young
about the
coach
character
like
of
that.
those
No,
guys.
Kellen Moore appreciates it.
Absolutely.
I got to believe that.
Are you in
that.
better shape to do it in a year 2 under Kellen Moore than you were in a year?
We're more today's coaching and today's athletes, and it's like they're afraid to coach. It's afraid. Man, when your players in your locker room, and this is any era, especially now, if they're going to preach the message in the locker room to your team, it help you. Man, that is a coach's best friend, man.
I agree. And then look, if both of these guys end up back on reasonable deals next week or the week after that, great. I love both of them. Everything about them. But if you got to move on, you got to move on.
They need to get younger. They have one of the oldest defenses in the NFL. And I will say you got a number 8 pick. Everyone's pinpointing running back, wide receiver. I don't think Love's actually going to get to 8 anymore, to be honest with you. But
no, I don't either.
You've got a chance to get a decent defensive player who falls to you, or maybe take a chance on a Reuben Bain with the shorter arms. You've got a chance to build the defense and make it younger. You just got to figure out if it's going to be with Davis or Jordan.
There are other places that they could use that number 8 pick. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
You understand that I'm not married to Love at number 8. Ordinarily I would dismiss it right out of hand. My thought was that if you spent at interior offensive line in free agency, it would make you better in a hurry to bring him in there. But I understand the counter argument.
I think it's pumping the brakes. There's some cause for optimism, but, man, there's still a long way to go. Okay, finally the starving dog has thrown a little scrap. We're far away from getting at the main table.
And whether they draft a running back or not, they still got to address the interior of that offensive line in free agency, no matter who they take at number 8. See, Mark Washington had a pretty good combine.
Did I see somebody project the Giants to take Love?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that.
That's popular. Yeah, that's
you
popular.
think they'd learn?
Where did Scatterboo get drafted last year?
4th, I believe.
Pretty good, huh?
He had a really
Coming
good
off an
year
injury.
until he get hurt.
He's not going to play.
Get hurt. Yeah. Is he?
But
Saquon.
And Saquon. I mean, well, you weren't ready for him. I mean, I don't know, man. You can. They're good running backs that are taken way down the draft.
I could see Titans at 4 for Love.
The shelf life, I mean, we go on and on.
We're brought to you by the Thibodeau store, the Pierre Part store, also open in LaRose and Lockport. As spring is approaching, your lawn and garden items right now are on special
I need some
at
new
the
clippers,
website.
man. The things are sticking now. Yes.
How about 65% off? From Best Garden Tools right now on the website, thethibodeaustore.com. We got potting and topsoils.
Yesterday, Charlie.
Spreaders and seeders, grass and weed control. When you get everything looking good, get you some patio furniture, your outdoor grills, outdoor power equipment.
What's the best way to take that dead plant or that plant you're replacing, but it's deeply rooted and it's kind of a pain to get out, Charlie? What would you suggest?
You're going to call me a liar, and I'm going to call my wife, and she's going to take up for me. We repotted a number of things this weekend, okay, and I helped, okay? This is my technique.
What was your help?
I pulled the plants out of the
pots.
The
spirit of Lou Holtz, you do a motivational,
and I put them in the
hold the flashlight.
I went and bought a bigger pot. Actually, she went and bought the bigger pots, and we took them out of one pot, put them in the other pot.
Video. I want video. I don't believe you.
I would lie to you. Tracy would lie to you, though. So, yes.
Y'all will both lie to me. Yes, you would. I want video.
All of your soil is available right now. All of your Scott's 4-step programs are available right now at thethibodeaustore.com.
Freeze is over, man.
900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, open until 5:30. Highway 70 in Pierre Part, in LaRose and Lockport as well. And online, all 4 facilities, you can get to them at thethibodeaustore.com.
Green Thumb Hanny.
Yeah. Live at Dick's House of Sport.
I'll go to him for something.
Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Dick's House of Sport in the Mall of Louisiana on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Come on over here at Dick's House of Sport, where every glove you can imagine from youth to pro level, all the top brands stocked, ready to play here, baseball, softball, and also their Hit Track performance cages available for you, not just for baseball and softball, but for lacrosse and soccer training as well. College football lost a legend yesterday with the passing of Lou Holtz at the age of 89. We watched a lot of his career, and the headline, of course, his national championship at Notre Dame in 1988. But Jimmy, there was a lot more to it than that. He was at Arkansas for a long time, and I'll tell you the two that may fly under the radar, but that they always caught me as big time coaching jobs. He went to Minnesota, and he was only there for 2 years. But he got him to a bowl game, and he had a deal in his contract where if he got him to a bowl game, he had an out where he could go to Notre Dame if the job opened up, and that's exactly what happened.
I thought it was the only job he would take.
It was,
yeah
it was.
Yeah.
And Minnesota had been to one bowl game in their previous 26 years. People think bowl game now. Well, everybody gets in a bowl game. Wasn't like that in 1985 when Holtz took. You remember the quarterback?
Ricky Foggy.
Ricky Foggy. Yeah.
Absolutely,
He
man.
was a great player.
Few games on TV, and they had Ohio State beat. They gave them all they could handle. Ohio State pulled it out in the end, but even in a lot, no, it was a big, that was a big deal. Yeah.
And then South Carolina. This was after he left Notre Dame and could have stayed in broadcasting or retired or whatever. Went back and took that job at South Carolina. They went 0-11 the first season and sold every ticket. And filled every seat that year. And he went from 0-11 to 8-4 the next year. New Year's Day bowl games, back-to-back years after going 0-11. The guy, look, quirky. If you didn't like him on TV or whatever, a lot of people did. That guy could coach.
Okay, but you see, even the TV stuff, if you didn't care from a TV, then I think that's a lot of LSU fans. But the thing is, Charlie, he was a renowned public speaker.
Yeah.
I mean, Hugh did tons of graduations, college graduations. They talk about him in the home, and it's all with a lisp. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, how many? I mean, they were running some old clips at one of the graduation. He had the whole place in stitches, man. I mean, he was
inspirational and funny,
highly entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, a really good in the home, a great recruiter as well. Now, he also was able to convince the administration when he was there to be a little bit player friendly. When he was, in admissions, which helped. But and if you ask Bruce Marshall tomorrow, he's going to talk about 1978 Orange Bowl because Arkansas, so they're playing in Miami. They're going from Arkansas, Charlie. Okay? They had 3 players that were suspended, including his star running back, that were suspended for violation of team rules. They out playing in Miami. Okay.
Sure.
So they're already a big underdog. It went up to 18 points. Earlier in that day, because this is when the polls were still in the, it's all about the poll. It was no 2-team playoff. The Cotton Bowl, number 1, Texas, all they got to do, they lost to Notre Dame. It put Oklahoma and Barry Switzer in position to win. They're 18-point underdogs, and they beat them 31-6 with the backup running back Roland Sales going for a big number. In the picture here I pulled up, guess who's carrying them off the field? Dan Hampton.
Really? Okay.
Yes,
wow.
Dan Hampton, the star, and it is a sad passing, when with his last, few little time on this earth. But, I mean, part of that 85 Bears. But, I mean, he was – and then the other thing was he would talk up the opponent in his weekly press conference. And wait a minute, Lou. You're 60-point favorites. SMU's coming off the death penalty. I mean – They're not the Dallas Cowboys.
Right, yeah. You're playing the Dan Hampton's still alive. You're thinking about Steve McMichael.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Passed from ALS. That Notre Dame thing, they were ready to embrace a new era because they had come off of 5 years of Jerry Faust. And Jerry Faust was a very controversial hiring out of Moeller High School. Mm-hmm. He had been arguably the top high school coach in the country.
No, they were
time.
revered as the top. Yeah,
and Notre Dame hired him. They thought it was, and they weren't very good. They never won more than 7 games under Jerry Faust. So after 5 years of that, they were willing to listen to. Hey, listen, we may need to change.
A little
receptive
bit more,
to.
Yeah, cooperative in admissions. Yeah. Yeah, he caught him at a good time.
Yeah.
He caught him at a good time, and the games in one of his favorites. Miami's coming to Catholics versus convicts, and he's getting them all. And he would challenge his play. He's pulled the face mask in the national TV and all, and got in the he would get in your face as a different era, stuff like that. But it also built them guys up so much when they're ready to play. And he's getting them all excited. And fired them up, and he said, "And y'all leave Jimmy Johnson to me."
It was a great line.
I mean, I'll take Jimmy Johnson against Lou Holtz.
A little all 5'10", a Lou Holtz.
He was the little coach before Saban.
God bless. He was great for college football. Whether you liked him or not, he was great for college football.
Monster character in college football.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. There's no doubt about that. So don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of South Louisiana for over 50 years. Our newest location at Burbank and Bluebonnet. I've got an account with those folks, man. They are friendly to deal with. Our whole team is friendly. Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Cree, David Campbell, David Henry, and Prentice Wilkes. Stop on by and see how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Dick's House of Sport in the Mall of Louisiana. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Dick's House of Sport in the Mall of Louisiana on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, let's bring in this stranger. He's been going on vacation, man. He had to see it. He went on research, from what I understand. Veasan put him on assignment to see exactly what was close to reality and what wasn't for the Hangover 2 in Bangkok.
Bangkok?
Yeah. So, Matt, was it as close to the movie? You trip to Bangkok?
You know what? Thailand is fantasy land, and I said this to a few people who asked me what it was like. I said, I really can't describe it to you, but I'll tell you this. Thailand makes Vegas look like kindergarten. It's girls gone wild. It's insane. And if you go there, don't take your wife or your girlfriend. That's my advice.
Well, I don't have either, so I'm good. So there, let's book a trip.
And I ain't going to Thailand.
Charlie,
Annie, if you want to be single, go to Thailand with us.
Yeah, I'm a pass. You guys be careful.
Well, he hadn't got the memo yet. The College World Series has been moved from Omaha to Thailand.
I'll watch on TV.
So y'all had a good time, Matt.
Oh yeah, it was great. I actually saw legendary oddsmaker Roxy Roxborough down there. He's lived in Bangkok for about 25 years. And we had some other Vegas guys down there. And I actually spent like 4 nights in Bangkok and 6 nights 2 hours south in Pattaya Beach. And if you know anything about Pattaya Beach, which you probably don't because I didn't know much about it until I got there, it was called the original Sin City. And it is like Vegas times 25, without the casinos, because gambling is a voodoo thing in Thailand, but you don't need it. Believe me, when you're there, there's plenty of entertainment, but that place is crazy. So Pattaya Beach, if you go to Thailand, you go to Bangkok, but you have to hit Pattaya Beach, and that place is just wild. So it was a great trip. It's the first time in about 5 or 6 years I've actually taken time off after the Super Bowl. Usually I just continue to work through college hoops and March Madness, and we were talking about this trip, and I thought, why not? You got to take advantage of it before the rainy season hits in Thailand. We wanted to get down there, so it was a perfect time to go, and I highly recommend it. And I'll give you some tips if you ever want to go. But what's funny is on the flight back, and it's a long flight, man. You're talking about a 20-hour flight with a 4 or 5 hour layover in South Korea. So it's a hell of a trip. But Korea Air is awesome. And it just didn't even feel like that long a trip. So that was the part I was dreading the most, but that wasn't that bad. And on the way back, we're talking about, hey, when can we go back to Thailand? Can we go back in May? Do we have to wait until after next football season? I mean, once you go there, you can understand why so many Americans have moved there to live. It's pretty easy to understand once you spend about 10 days there.
Very good, very good. So Charlie was wrong because Charlie said that you had been put. He guessed. I said, well, where's Matt? He said, well, he's in Thailand. He said, well, he's on assignment he's doing fast food critiques in Thailand. I mean, this guy's really into it. I mean,
You know what's surprising is that Taco Bell, Burger King, and especially KFC and McDonald's are really big in Thailand.
What is the damn exit by Laramie, Wyoming, exit 75 that has a Taco John's or something? You said it's one of your favorite fast food joints?
That's it, right across from the University of Wyoming campus, Taco John's.
It is Taco John's, okay.
Taco John's is far better than Taco Bell, but most people don't know about it, yeah.
Taco John's is doing new broccoli quesadillas.
Never been to Wyoming. I've never been to Wyoming.
Humans can't stand broccoli. Oh, man. All right, so we were talking about a little bit earlier in the show your Purdue Boilermakers, and I was theorizing because it's been it's not nothing new, but Painter and November, December, Boilers look pretty good. Well, if you do a little research in this era and then they fade a little bit, and it's happening again. They were fortunate to get out of Evanston with a win. That was a 50-50 game last night. He's just not as reliant on transfers, and there's not as much turnover in his roster, so they are ahead of the game a little bit in the early parts of the season. And then everybody else, their room for improvement is greater because they're still putting all the new pieces together. Is it as simple as that?
I think there is a lot to that, but this also goes back years. And I was talking about this with my dad last night because he's ticked off about Purdue basketball, too. He went to Butler, but he's a Purdue basketball fan. He said, why does this happen every year? I said, I'll tell you why it happens every year. Because Purdue's like the November national champs, right? They win the holiday tournaments around Thanksgiving. I think they've won 6 in a row. They never get beat in November. A lot of times in December recently, they've been ranked number 1, and then they fade. Well, Matt Painter is a really good program builder, but he's not – I want to say this. He's a weak game coach. He is a weak game coach. And he doesn't have anybody on his staff who's a very good defensive coach. And if you watch Purdue's defense, it has declined badly. And this team is just not very good on defensive end of the floor. But Painter's also very predictable. So I think everybody in the Big Ten, all these coaches know exactly what Purdue's going to do. They got them scouted inside and out. And Painter does not adjust. I'll give you an example from last night. Nick Martinelli of Northwestern is obviously the go-to guy, top scorer in the Big Ten Conference. Every coach in the league knows that Purdue switches off all screens, which I hate because you got to have your top defender or your top defenders fight through screens and stick with their guy, especially when you got a go-to scorer on the other side. Purdue switches off the screen every freaking time. And so Chris Collins at Northwestern would come down and run one screen for Martinelli, and C.J. Cox, who's Purdue's best defender, would switch off to another guy. And then Northwestern would get the mismatch, and Martinelli would back him down, turn around, short jumper, and score. And it happened about 7 or 8 times in a row, and I'm saying, how can these guys not adjust? This is unbelievable.
I was watching it, yeah. Yes, it was unreal. He scored every time, it seemed like.
I know. It's just so I think the fact that he's a weak game coach and that they're not really good defensively and they don't have a veteran assistant on the staff who's a good defensive coach, and the fact that every other coach in the league knows exactly what they're going to do is why I think they peak in November and December and gradually get worse, aside from the Zach Edey team that reached a championship game. I think that's been true basically for most of Matt Painter's season. So, we were talking about this on the show a couple nights ago, too. You make a list of the teams you want to fade in March when you get to the tournament, conference tournaments or the big tournament. I think you got to put Purdue near the top of that list. You got to put Iowa State on that list, right? You probably got some other teams you want to put on there as well. I would say Nebraska is not playing well. Illinois is not playing well. You probably got some teams in the SEC you would put on that list as well.
Yeah, and also we're looking toward the Saturday, I've identified too. I'm looking at teams that are bad teams that are playing better, playing with pride, and Iowa State. And this is, there's some out there, and there's some first-year coaches that are playing better. Like a Porter Moser, they just had bad luck at Oklahoma. I mean, they blew double-digit leads against Texas, against Alabama. They blew a lead with less than 30 seconds to go against Arkansas. They had the double buzzer beater against Missouri, but they're playing better. They won 3 straight games by double digits, and they're going to Texas. But another one is the biggest surprise, and that's out of Tempe. Arizona State's playing better. And this is 11th season for Bobby Hurley, and he's probably going to be fired. He's only been to the tournament 3 of those 11 seasons. They're not going. But they're going to Ames, Matt, Saturday, catching projected 14.5. And it was just because Iowa State is definitely, there's 2 teams kind of going in different directions. So we do that. We're doing it in football, too, in the pro level as well. Teams that are playing with a little bit that have not lost that lot. The Saints were a perfect example last year. I mean, they were nowhere close to contention, but they were playing.
And if we're going to talk about SEC teams that we're going to fade, I know they both won on Tuesday. We got to talk about A&M, and we got to talk about Auburn. If Auburn even gets in.
You going to take LSU?
No, I'm talking about fade.
Oh, in the tournament.
Okay.
Tournament. Yeah. Okay, I'm talking Saturday.
No, he said what SEC teams are fading right now. Of the ones that are in the tournament right now, I would say Auburn and A&M.
Because Matt, if they do make a move on McMahon, as LSU basketball fans, we're fine. Okay, that's fine. It'll be a sad day for handicappers. I could tell you that. I mean, because it has been an ATM on those home games.
Okay, I was going to say winning record against the spread.
Sure. We're projecting A&M to be 2.5, 3.5 point favorites on Saturday. Opening line against LSU.
They're 10-7 against the number in the league, but I think it's 2-7.
You count Alabama as a win? Yeah.
Well, they covered, but
not closing line.
Not close. Okay,
the closing line.
10-7 against the spread, but 2-7 at home. I think.
Anything you like tonight or for this Saturday, Matt?
I was looking ahead to Saturday last night because we're running the Circuit College Hoops Challenge contest now. We did it last Saturday, doing it this Saturday. Then we're going to take a break before the tournament. But Paul Stone went 5-0 last week.
Yes,
nice job by Stone Cold Locks. You know what? One of the most intriguing games for me is Florida at Kentucky. And I played Kentucky against Vandy in our contest last week, and that was an easy win for the Wildcats. But, man, this is a schizo team that I don't trust. If you watch Kentucky, Texas A&M the other night, Wildcats got out of the gate fast. They looked good, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're down 20. So you don't trust that team. The way Florida's playing right now, nobody wants to bet against Florida. I had a friend I was talking with yesterday. He's a very sharp college hoops capper, and he was taking this was a couple of days ago. He was taking Mississippi State against Florida, and I said, "Well, good luck with that. I'm not going to play that." And that was Mississippi State was up 24-14 early and lost by 32 or something, right? And you just don't want to bet against the team as hot as the Florida Gators right now. That might be a situation where the Gators just blow out Kentucky. I don't trust the Wildcats there. I'll tell you what I played tonight. I am betting against another one of the top teams in college hoops, and I took Iowa +9 tonight. And that's it. Actually, had a great day yesterday. Hopefully I can keep it going today. But I don't like today's card all that much. It's interesting trying to look at all these conference tournaments, too, and find some stuff to play here. But Michigan's already wrapped up the Big Ten outright title. Michigan's going to be a number 1 seed. There's no question about it. And I think these guys are probably looking forward to the Michigan State game this weekend and the tournament in March. And this is a huge opportunity for the Iowa Hawkeyes to get a win. They've got Michigan and Nebraska this week. It's a well-coached Iowa team with a veteran point guard in Bennett Sturts. They've had some disappointments recently. This is their shot really to make up for some of that stuff. And I'm expecting a big effort from the Iowa Hawkeyes tonight. But I'm not going to be shocked if I lose that bet. Just the way Michigan is steamrolling opponents. But I did take 9 points with the Hawkeyes. As of right now, that's the only bet I've got tonight. I did consider playing the over. We got the West Coast Conference Tournament in Vegas right now. And I don't know if you paid attention to the trend of overs on Pepperdine games, but Pepperdine Waves have changed the style they play, and I think they've gone over in 9 or 10 straight games. And 153 is the total in that game tonight, Pepperdine and Portland. And let's see, there was one more. The Arch Madness tournament. I'm sure, have you guys talked about the trend in the unders in the Missouri Valley Conference? And these totals are so suppressed. Look at how low the totals are in these games. But they were low last year, too. I don't know if they're adjusted enough. I have not bet them, but I can tell you a lot of people out there are betting the unders in the Missouri Valley because that trend is so strong. Did you play those?
No, they're too low for me now. I used to.
Me too,
used to do in the first half unders, and I've gotten off of that for the first round of the tournament as well with the big stage and kind of, because it's ridiculous. I mean, they're like 60, for first half and stuff like that. I mean, it's just really low. You mentioned Paul Stone, 5-0. He's your reigning champ for your college basketball show. Yep, and then also your reigning champ in football. And Paul Stone's my partner on the podcast of Bet Rivers for college basketball and football. And then Chris Macero, our Friday contributor, he's your reigning champ for your football contest. And they are identical in how they handle success. They
yeah, I bet.
That's sarcasm.
Very similar personalities. Both very understated, and both very humble, understated guys. Paul, not very emotional. Yeah, Paul Stone. I tell you what, Paul Stone's been on a hell of a run in college hoops. I think he was here Super Bowl weekend. He said he wasn't having a great college hoop season, but in this contest, I think last year in this first week combined, he's 35, 19, and 1. But the best part, you know how hard it is sometimes to single out a best bet when you have to pick one best bet each week. Paul Stone is 9-1-1 on his best bets in the contest. That's pretty damn impressive.
Matt, we appreciate it, brother. We're out of time. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
Glad to have you back. We're live at Dick's House of Sport, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch from Dick's House of Sport in the Mall of Louisiana on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Enjoyed our trip here to Dick's House of Sport. We'll be back later on in the spring. All the gloves that you need here, the Fielder's Choice wall from youth to pro level gloves, baseball and softball, the Hit Tracks Performance cage for baseball, softball, lacrosse, and soccer training. Savannah Bananas in the Superdome on the 14th and 15th. Get all of your gear here. And right now, for you golfers, Dick's House of Sports with a free fitting event that goes on now through Sunday. Certified club fitters will get your game dialed in. You'll get a free fitting or demo experience, an additional 50% trade-in enhancement towards new clubs, and a free 60-minute simulator rental with the purchase of a qualifying wood or iron set. Pilates classes for free this Saturday and on March the 21st from 9 until 10 a.m. on Saturday mornings. And the Baton Rouge Zydeco Hockey Club coming back on March the 30th from 6 till 8 p.m. for autographs and pictures. Thanks to Dick's House of Sports for being our host today. Tomorrow we are at Rufino's on Highland Road. Hope you can make it in your plans to stop by and see us for lunch. For Max Gotro, for Jimmy Odd, Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon, and stay tuned for Hunt 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.